Welcome back, students. This week we're continuing on in DreamWeaver. I'm going to try to continue to create these videos. I'm going to try to keep them down under 20 minutes. So I'm going to go through the chapters that we're working on kind of quickly. Last week we started our initial site and we built our index pages, and then we also included the very last activity was that under our files panel over here we went ahead and added our other pages, our About Us activities, the fishing cruises, and spa pages. So we're going to continue on in lesson 2 today. Hopefully you got through lesson 1 okay. You can't continue into lesson 2 until lesson 1 is finished. So hopefully the video I actually did last week was of some sort of help to you. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to learn how to create head content or add head content, and that's the hidden stuff that goes on behind the scenes with our web pages. It's how web browsers are found in search engines, and it also allows us to put in descriptions, titles, and some things like that. So that's kind of where we're going to be at today. We're actually going to create our second page, which is our spa page, which will go right along with the rest of our site. So just getting started, and I'll try to explain some of the differences between the book and what we got going on in the 2017 version of DreamWeaver as we move along here. Alright, so if you open up DreamWeaver, the striped umbrella site should be opened up already. If not, right here, make sure that's the site that you have your local site, which is the striped umbrella. I'm going to close my assets folder up there, so I don't really need that right now. And I'm going to go ahead and double click my index page to open it up, which I have already done. So the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to go modify the title a little bit. Now in the book it shows you that the title is up in the top area up here, when in all actuality it's really down here, the new place to add our title. It's down in our properties panel. If your properties panel isn't open, I'm going to close mine for now just so you know where to find it. If I go up here under Window and go to Properties, it'll open up that Properties panel. Once again, the Properties panel is a context-sensitive panel, so depending on what tool we have chosen or what we're doing, this information down here is going to change. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add on to our title down here of the striped umbrella and just say it's a full beach resort and spa. In Fort Eugene, Florida. Alright, so we just modified our title. I'm just going to hit enter so that it takes the title. Alright. So that's the first thing it has us do. We're just modifying the title. The next thing it has us do is it has us inserting some keywords. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here over to the top right, and we're going to go to the insert panel. Alright, and you can see the insert panel is divided into different sections. If I scroll down there, you can see the different things that it has in there. The section we're looking for is this middle section where we have our metadata, and the first thing we're going to add is some keywords. So I'm going to click on keywords there. The stuff it has me put in on page 27 in the book, which is the striped umbrella. And these are just keywords that search engines use to find our site. And I'm going to separate these by a comma. Beach resort, Gulf of Mexico, and you can see there's other ones in there. I'm not going to put them all in just to save a few minutes time. And once I get them in there, all I got to do is say OK. Alright, then over there under our head list over here, let's click on the word description, and this is where we're going to add a description to our site. So we're going to, in that box then, we're going to put in the striped umbrella is a full service beach resort and spa. etc., etc., etc. You once again you can type in as it has it in the book, and then just say OK. Now if I go to my code view, remember I got my split my design and my code view up here at the top, and I look up here at the top, you can see up here in the head area, that's where it puts that information in. Alright, so there's my title, Striped Umbrella Full Beach Resort and Spa. Then come down here around line 27, it has my keywords that I had put in and my description. Alright, like once again I said, those are the things that the search engines look for when they're describing your site. Alright, so let's go back to our design view then. And the next thing we're going to actually look at is we're going to go to our CSS Designer panel, which is the tab right next to our Insert panel over here. So I'm going to click on the CSS Designer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that out so I can expand it a little bit so it's a little bit bigger, a little easier for us to see. Alright, so what this is this allows us to design our cascading style sheets, or our CSS. And those are the things that control the elements of our page. We're going to go in and modify an existing style sheet that's already in there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to modify this SU styles, which stands for Striped Umbrella Styles. And then you can see down here we have some other selections that we can choose. And we're going to say global. So it's going to be something that's going to change something on our entire page. And then we're going to come down here and select this dot fluid, which is a selector for us. Alright, and as you can see there, we can change all different kinds of things than global as a global property goes. So what we want to look for is we want to change our background, our entire background, to white. So let's choose a different color just so you can kind of see how this works. So I'm going to choose red, just for giggles. And you can see it changes my background to red, which is awful. We don't ever want to have a red background. I'm going to go ahead and change that back to white. And if you're doing it as a hexadecimal number, it's the pound sign followed by 6 Fs. Alright, let's go up and modify another CSS sheet then, which is this boilerplate, which was already created for us. And once again, select global. And then what we're looking for is to change the body. Okay. And then under our CSS properties, down here under background, we're going to remove that background color. And as you can see, that changes our entire background behind our actual web page to white also. Alright, so let's go up here to File and Save All. Make sure all our files are saved. Let's move on to Lesson 2. In Lesson 2, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be adding some text to some of our pages. And we're going to start with our index page here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right down here to right at the end of the paragraph where we want to go home, and we're going to put our insertion point right there. And then after that, we're just going to hit a return or enter on our keyboard, and that's going to give us a paragraph break in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in the striped umbrella. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hold down our shift key and hit enter. And what that does is that puts in an actual page, a break as opposed to a paragraph. So after we put in the striped umbrella and hit shift enter, we're going to put in 25 Beachside Drive. Ooh, as soon as I learn how to type. Shift enter again. Fort Eugene. Don't ask me where Fort Eugene is. Florida. And then with a zip code of 33775. Then we're going to shift enter one last time. And we're going to put in a phone number. And we'll just put in a generic phone number. 555 dash 594 dash 9458. So that's how we enter text in. It's very simple, just like working with a word processor. All right, so we got that text in there. Let's say that we want to format that text like we would in a word processor. Once again, that's very easily done. All we basically have to do is highlight that text. And then if you notice down in our properties inspector here, and I'm going to pull that up there a little closer, we can see that our contextual menu has changed to deal with text. All right, so if I click on the HTML button, because we're dealing with HTML text here, once again I'll highlight that, click on the HTML button, and just come over here and click the italic button. And that's going to italicize the text. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the split view so you can kind of see what the code looks like for this. Move my properties inspector out of the way. Okay. So you can see that area right there. Oops, come on down. This is where we started our paragraph. It puts in that P tag, and then that M stands for italicized. So it opens the P tag there, and then it closes the P tag and the M tag down here. And each time we hit that return, it put that little break in there. So that just kind of gives you a little idea of how the coding works. So let's go back up to our design view. Alright, so let's go ahead and save the page then. Let's do a file and save all. The next thing we're going to work on then is actually our SPA page, and we're actually going to use this page then as a template for us. So let's go up here, instead of doing a file and save all, this time let's do a file and save as. And it's going to go out to our striped umbrella folder, but we're going to save this as SPA. And it's going to ask us, that page already exists, you want to overwrite the file? We're going to say yes. So let's highlight those 3 paragraphs of text on our SPA page and just delete those. So we just have the site name and the address that we just put in there. So let's put an insertion point right in front of that T, and then let's go over. I'm going to close back up my designer. I'm going to minimize it over here. And let's go back over to our insert menu, and we're going to scroll up to the top, and we're going to insert an image. Alright, so where we need to go to find this image is back out on our desktop, back to the folder where we're storing our files at. So I have a DreamWeaver folder here, and oops, I've chosen the wrong one again. And I'm going into that DreamWeaver Chapter 2 folder, Chapter 2, into the assets, and we're going to insert the SPA logo. And it may take a minute to come in, but that's okay. And there it is. Then I'm going to click next to that, between the logo and the striped umbrella, and just hit a Shift Enter to move that information down below. Alright, so let's go ahead and select the logo then. And what we need to do then is we need to put in some alt text. And what alt text does for us is this is what appears in case your image doesn't load. Sometimes you'll load a web page and it'll have that little box with a red X where an image should be. That's what happens. So I'm going to come down here to the alt text box inside the properties window, and I'm going to say C SPA logo. Hit enter. So that just puts some alt text on that image for us. Alright, so let's add some more text to our image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize DreamWeaver for a second here, and I'm going to go out to the folder where I've got my file stored at for Chapter 2, which is right here. And I'm going to open up that Chapter 2 folder, and you'll see in there's a file called SPA, and that's just a text file. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open that up. And it's going to open up in Notepad or whatever word processing software you have. And I'm just going to copy all that text. I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to say edit and copy. I'm going to go back to DreamWeaver, click next to my logo, hit enter, and then Control V or paste that text in there. So you can see it paste all that text into our document, into our SPA page. So the next thing we're going to do is we want to format this text to make it look a little cleaner for us. So let's go ahead and select that text called the C SPA services. And then down under our HTML headings and our properties where it says format, let's hit that drop down and let's change that to a heading 1. Headings are arranged in an order from an H1 to an H6 in HTML, with H1 being the largest to H6 being the smallest. Let's select that next item under there, the massages, the facials, and the body treatments, and let's change those to an H2 heading. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and do a file and save all. Make sure everything's saved. I'm skipping over a few things in the book. Make sure you're following along because it has you check the spelling and do a few other things, which I'm sure is easy enough for you to figure out. So we're just going to go up and file and save all to make sure all our files are saved. Then we're going to go ahead and close that SPA page up. And then let's go back to our files menu, and then let's reopen the index. Because the next part we're going to work on is section 3, which is actually creating an index. Alright, so we should go ahead and open up our index page there. And we're going to put an insertion point right in front of the word welcome in that first paragraph. So we're going to click right in front of that word welcome. Alright, then we're going to come over to our insert menu, and we're going to come down to the second section here, and we're going to add some navigation. Alright, so where we want to put it is at the insertion point in the class that we want to use. In this case, there should be a class in here called intro paragraph. So we're going to choose that intro paragraph. Now in the book it tells you to verify that the insert as a fluid element is selected. We no longer have that option. It's actually got taken away as part of this rule. So we don't need to actually worry about that. So step 5 in the book there, you can just kind of skip over that. So at that point, just go ahead and say OK. And you see you get this message up here that says content for class intro paragraph goes here. So just go ahead and highlight that, and let's go ahead and type in a contextual menu for ourselves. And we're going to start with home. Put home, then a space and a dash, and then about us, space and a dash, spa, space and a dash, cafe, space and a dash, and then a space and activities. Okay, so at this point, this is going to be a context menu for us, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add links then to your various other pages. So let's start by going up and doing a file and save all so that we don't lose anything at this point. And I'm going to highlight the word home. And then if you notice down in our properties inspector, it gives us the option down here to link things, of where we want to link them at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this icon right over here which is the browse for file icon. Click on that, and my striped umbrella folder should come up there. And what I want to link this to is my home page, which in our case is the index page. I'm just going to click on index there, say OK, and that's going to create a link for us. I'm going to do the same thing with the remaining 4 items I have under there. So About Us, I'm going to click my Browse for File. It's going to be about our About Us page that we created. Our spa, Browse for File, to our spa page, our cafe, Browse for File, cafe, and last but not least, our activities. Highlight the word activities, Browse for File, and link that to our activities page. So you notice down there in the link box then, whatever I'm clicked in is what that will take me to. So if I'm on the About Us, our link down there is About Us HTML, all links to that. Same with our spa, our cafe, and our activities. So links are relatively easy to create inside of DreamWeaver. All right, so let's add one more type of link down here. Let's go down below our phone number. All right, and after the 8 there, we're going to hit a Shift Enter, put in a page break there. Over under our Insert menu in the 3rd section down, which is the same area that our metadata was in, we want to insert an email link. This is once again a little bit different than what's in the book, but if you look around enough, these things are easy enough to find. So the text for our link, what's actually going to appear on our page, is Club Manager. And then his email is manager@stripedumbrella.com. Say OK, and that will automatically insert that email link for us. At this point, the rest of the things in the book you can kind of go through. It doesn't really change a whole lot. You may have to float around a little bit to find some things, with the exception of page 230. When you get up to page 230 in the book, the code inspector is okay, but when you get to page 230, just skip page 230 because it has you do some code preferences with the fluid grids and stuff, and we've already taken that stuff out. But you should be able to insert a date like it's on page 231, and then where it has you going through and modifying and testing the web pages in section 5. When I get to page 234, then when you get up to that point, it asks you to modify the web page so you can see it in various sizes. If you click on the little icon down here, you can view it in different formats, like you want to see what it looked like on an iPhone 6. Oops. Or on an iPad. Or you can just go back to full size. The other thing you can do then is you can test your page in a browser. So I'm going to just go up here and do a file and save all real quickly. And then we're up on page 235 then. And this is the last page of the chapter. So if I want to preview this in a browser, there's a little icon down here where it says real-time preview down in the lower right, which once again is just a little bit different than the book. If I select that, I can say, all right, show me what this will look like in Chrome. And then that's what my page will actually look like inside the web browser. Now the only page we've ever created other than our home page is our spa page. So if I click on that, that should take me to my spa page. We don't have the menus copied over or anything yet, but that'll give you just kind of a general idea of what things look like. So I'd have to use my back button actually to get back to my other pages. So to kind of wrap things up here, if you just go to page 235, which is the last page of this chapter, and just do a screen capture, it should look just like figure 44 in the book. Just do a screen capture of that and send me that through the Dropbox, and that'll be this week's assignment. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks. See you next week.